gorgeous! Sabrina here. I'm doing a review for you on all of the new MakeupGeek brushes. These are ones that have been completely redesigned and were recently released. And so I have been using them now for approximately 2 weeks to see how I really like them. I've washed them multiple times, so I'm seeing how well they wear and whatnot. And I wanted to share my thoughts with you on the entire line today, just in case you have been curious, and also how you can use them in applying your makeup. Start off here with the eyeshadow brushes, my most favorite. First brush I want to talk about is the MakeupGeek Crease brush. This is very lovely. It has a pointed tip on it, very soft, goes very easily in the crease, back and forth, applies color effortlessly. Absolutely love this brush, and it's not scratchy by any means whatsoever. It's very, very soft. But I think I already said that. Moving on, next brush that is in the line is the Smokey eye brush. This is more of your rounded tip brush, and you would use this to apply eyeshadow onto your lid if you wanted more of a smoky effect, instead of using a brush like the MAC 239 to pack the color onto the eye. Next up is the pointed crease brush. This is a great little brush for defining the crease area. Very soft, once again, very smooth. And it's really great at controlling the amount of color that you are depositing onto the eyes. So if you want more definition in your crease than you would get with the crease brush that I talked about a few seconds ago, you'd want to use a brush like this. Next brush is the eye blender brush. This has an angled tip to it, and you would use this to blend eyeshadow, specifically more from the outer V inwards. That's how I would use it. But I don't typically go for brushes like this that are shaped like this. So this is not one that I have been using that much, and I probably won't use in the future. Probably the only brush I feel like you don't really need. Next brush is the small pointed crease brush, and this is really just a more miniature version of the brush that I talked about before, the pointed crease brush. A little bit smaller, you get more definition if you were to use this one in place of the pointed crease brush. Great little brush, not scratchy, very soft. The stiff dome brush is one of my most favorites in the MakeupGeek line. It's very comparable to the MAC 217, very tightly packed at the tips, great for blending out eyeshadow and the harsh edges that you may get in your crease shades. This is also a really great brush for applying your concealer because it is so tightly packed. It's great for making the under eye area look airbrushed and flawless. I love this brush. Then we have the soft dome brush, and I want to compare this to MAC's 222 brush. If you remember that one, it got discontinued a while back, but this is just a shorter version of that type of brush. So I would use this for applying color into the crease. You can also use this for blending looks. Also a great brush for outer V work. It's a little bit floppier though than the stiff dome brush, so a lot more flexibility in the soft dome brush. The pencil brush from MakeupGeek has become one of my new favorites. I absolutely love Sigma's E30 pencil brush, but I'm not using it as much anymore since I discovered this one because this is very short, easy to maneuver. I love it especially for applying color onto the lower lash line. Great brush for doing just that. And again, very soft, not scratchy, like the MAC 219 brush is. 219 is very scratchy. This is extremely soft. Last and final brush, save the best for last, is the bent eyeliner brush from MakeupGeek. I love this brush. I had one from Sonia Kashuk not too long ago, and it just ended up getting frayed. The bristles ended up going every which way, and I gotta admit, I'm not the best when it comes to using these brushes. I am kind of abusive towards them, but this little guy has held up really well in the time that I have been using it. I've been using it pretty much every day. It's very easy to pack gel eyeliner onto, very easy to control, and it creates nice, smooth, straight lines. Moving on to face brushes. Very impressed with the face brushes from MakeupGeek. Just like the eyeshadow brushes, very soft, supple on your skin. They wash so easily and they keep their shape. Absolutely love these brushes. So we'll start with the smallest ones and work our way up. Very first brush I'll talk about is the rounded blush brush. To me, this is a little bit too small for me personally. I like to have a bigger, fluffier blush brush than this, but this is great for actual contour, and that's typically how I like to use it because it is so focused. Speaking of contour, the angled contour brush from MakeupGeek is the angled version of the blusher brush, and it is great for contour. I absolutely love it for contour. The only thing I was not so impressed about with this brush is that it sheds like a mofo. So it didn't earn any points for me there. It shed a lot. Even after washing it a few times, it still gets everywhere all over your face every time I use it. So I don't really recommend this brush. It's probably the only one that I don't recommend in the entire MakeupGeek line. Just not that great. Next up is the cheek highlighter brush. This is a smaller version of the MAC Duo Fiber brush. I think that's what it's called. I can't remember the number. I think it's what is that number? I'll put it on the screen because I can't remember it off the top of my head. This is a smaller version of that, and you would use this to apply highlighter onto the cheeks, the bridge of the nose, any of those areas of the face where you want to have a little subtle glow. And it is great for that. It picks up color amazingly well, deposits it beautifully, very soft on the face. Love it! Next up is the foundation stippling brush for MakeupGeek. Flat top brush, very similar to the Sigma brushes, the Sedona lace brushes, and great for applying foundation onto your face. It creates an airbrushed effect, and the bristles are extremely soft against your skin. I would say this is more comparable to the Sedona lace brush than it is the Sigma brush. And it hasn't shed once. It's a great brush, and I love it. I keep saying that, but you know it's true if I keep saying it. And next brush is the Face Buffer brush. This one is one that I use for applying powder onto my face when I want to mattify the T-zone. The best way that I can describe this brush to you is that it is a powder puff and a powder brush in one. It acts like a powder puff in that it mattifies your face very beautifully, but it doesn't pack the powder onto your face like a powder puff would. So it acts more like a brush in that sense. Very soft. I absolutely love the feel of this. It feels like a bunny. It's gorgeous. Last but certainly not least is the MakeupGeek angled stippling brush. This is a little bit different from the foundation stippling brush that I talked about before because it's angled, like you can see here in the side-by-side example. And this one is ideal for getting in the small crevices and cracks that you may have around your face, like around the nose, right in between your eyebrows, underneath the chin, right in there. It's great for getting into those small spots that you may struggle with getting to. That is my review on the MakeupGeek brushes, and if you're interested in any of the ones that I shared with you today, I will have every single one of them listed for you down below, as well as links to where you can buy them online. They're very affordable for the price, and I couldn't be happier with testing these brushes. I'm very impressed with most of them. So let me know if you have tried any of the MakeupGeek brushes and which ones are your favorites. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Oh, and the look that I'm wearing today will be in a tutorial coming up soon. It's an all matte eyeshadow look, so coming your way soon. See you next time.